Hey guys, in this lecture I'm going to teach you the concept of project life cycle. If you have been project manager or if you have worked on projects, you have probably come across this. I'm not going to spend too much time on it because the topic of life cycles can become very scientific. It is normally thought as part of the methodology. And this is just a course on a project management tool. But I want to make sure that you get the basic concept. So essentially, life cycle is about the various stages that the project goes through. It's a very natural concept. Even if you take an example, a human being is born, it goes, being a toddler, then it goes through teenage years, then you become an adult, and then essentially you get older and you die. So this is your life cycle. And exactly the same concept applies to projects. They are initiated and they go through different stages. What you see here on the slide are the PMI official life cycle, which is initiation, planning, execution, closing, and a phase that is ongoing, which is called monitoring and control, which you don't see over here. So what that means is that every project first is initiated. You basically you collect the people that will authorize the project, gather your resources, your core team. Then you conduct planning exercise. Then you do the work, and then you close. The easy way to remember this is the following. At least I find it the easiest way to remember because you don't have to cram it. Projects are about delivering real results, and the real results are delivered in the execution phase. But if you are on waterfall, if you follow a waterfall cycle, the mantra of waterfall is plan before you act. So every time you start executing without a plan, you're violating a fundamental waterfall principle. So therefore, remember it this way. Projects are about delivering change. So the way you deliver the change is through work, which is the execution. So that's the first one. You remember the one in the middle, execution. But before you do any execution, the one before that is planning. And by default, projects are complex. So you need a team. If it was easy, you wouldn't need a team, right? So you need expertise. So to be able to do the plan, you need already people on your team who can provide the estimates. And you collect those people during the initiation phase. So prepare, plan, execute, and finally close. So that's the logical way to remember the life cycle. There are different life cycles. Sometimes every company has their own. What I'm showing here is the PMI version of the waterfall life cycle. But again, if you work in a company that has slightly different one, don't worry. Use whatever you have to do. Most methodologies also come with their own life cycles. So again, this is PMP, but you can follow, for example, Prince2, and it may have a slightly different life cycle. The important thing here is the concept. And why this concept is important is because the life cycle will be reflected in the scheduling. And later on, I'm going to show you how. But these are the various groups of actions in the schedule. The green triangles represent gates. Normally, between the stages, you have an approval point, and a gate is a forward-looking decision point where the steering committee of the project approves the next stage. Again, I'm not going to deep dive here. This is more of a methodology topic for discussion. From the tool point of view, you need to make a difference between a gate and a milestone. A lot of people, actually, even professional project managers, use those interchangeably. You have to understand that these are different. A gate is a forward-looking decision point. A milestone is a significant point in the project. Gates in many times are predefined. Milestones are up to the discretion of the project manager. For example, if you're building a house, before you move to execution, you will need a gate approval. However, once you enter execution and you build floor 1, you can call the completion of floor 1 an important milestone in your schedule, and that's not going to be a decision point. It's just going to be a significant point in the schedule, right? So that's the main difference. I think that gates are subset of milestones because essentially a gate is a type of milestone, but it is very important type of milestone. All right, so that's about life cycle. If you feel that you have gaps, Feel free to research the topic on your own, but it is essential to have a solid grasp of what it means to follow a life cycle on a project before we actually start being practical with the schedules in Smartsheet.